I'm 29 years old and I used to struggle with erectile dysfunction really bad. I mean, I could not get it up for the life of me, but I fixed it, and I fixed it using these 3 secrets that I'm gonna share with you in this video, and they can work for you as well. Let's get into it. First things first, for those that are new to the channel. Welcome. I'm Eric and I'm a doctor of physiotherapy, and I specialize in helping men with their pelvic floor. So the issue of erectile dysfunction and not being able to get hard, it's already near and dear to me, as I help men all over the world to overcome it. Now, naturally, as men, for the most part, we have no issues being aroused sexually, and typically we have no issues getting an erection. Now when it stops working properly, well, this can really affect our mental health, and that's exactly what happened to me. And what made this worse for me was the fact that I help men overcome this issue for a living. And that's why I felt it was really important to make a video of me opening up about experience, so that hopefully some of you watching, regardless of how old or how young you are, see that there's a way to fix this issue and overcome it, and that there's hope. Okay, so the first secret that I implemented into my life was meditation. Now, I know this sounds hokey pokey for some of you watching, but you're gonna have to trust me. It's important. Reflect on your own life right now. Okay. We all have professional stress with our work and our careers. We've got financial stress with our bills, mortgages, rent, and we all have personal stress with our relationships, and family life is messy. Now, how many of you watching right now have strategies to manage those levels and manage that stress? Because your stress levels, they're gonna vary on a day-to-day. And typically you're operating within a very fine margin, where if the stress levels get too high, well, we don't cope very well and we start seeing things go wrong, like erectile dysfunction. You see, when your stress levels and anxiety levels rise, your cortisol levels rise as well. And while this results in a lower sex drive, also known as your libido, it interrupts your brain's messages down to your private parts to have an erection. Now, by adding in guided meditation into your daily routine, I finally had an outlet where I could focus on my deep breathing and work through some of my stressors, bringing my overall anxiety and stress back down to a healthy level. I also identified that the biggest stressor for me was my job at the time. So I resigned from the clinic I was working at, and I actually started pursuing passions of mine, like starting this YouTube channel. So make sure you give me a subscribe and like the video if you're enjoying it. Thank you. And I also started working for myself, coaching men online across the world to help them overcome their men's health issues within my scope as a physiotherapist. Now, by removing the major stressor and by adding in strategies to manage my stress, well, this helped me massively. Now, even though I was less stressed, this didn't necessarily help me with my erections. I started to get some feeling back, and I could see signs that they wanted to recover. And this is when my doctor provided me with a prescription for Viagra, not because I was going to need to take it forever to have erections, but because for us men, when we can't get an erection, when it's game time and when you're in the moment, it's incredibly stressful and it's embarrassing. And what happens is you start stressing and focusing all your mental energy on getting hard. And this just makes the problem so much worse for you. Now, by adding in the meditation first and then taking the Viagra for game time, this worked wonders to help me get a strong erection that actually lasted. Now, the key takeaway here is that the Viagra was for my confidence, because it showed me that nothing was physically wrong with my body. It was my stress and anxiety that was sabotaging my chances of getting hurt. Now, obviously, this was a massive breakthrough for me, because I was finally able to just focus on being intimate with my wife and not stressing about whether or not I was going to let her down again. And this did wonders for our relationship. I felt like I was getting back to my old self, and it was fantastic. Now, before we get into my third and final secret on what allowed me to fix my erectile dysfunction for good, I wanted to tell you that I make new videos helping men just like you overcome all your mental health problems that you experience in life. And I would really, really appreciate it by you clicking the subscribe button below along with the like button and the bell notification so that you can join our growing community. Thank you. I really appreciate your support. Okay. Back to the nitty-gritty, because at this stage of the story, I've added in the meditation for stress relief, and I've also added in the Viagra for game day performance, and I can see that it's working really well. But my doctor made it clear to me that I would not need the Viagra forever. So the final secret that I added into my routine was exercise, but not just any exercise. Now, we know from the research that the best types of exercise you can do for improving your erections is aerobic exercise and lifting weights. So that's exactly what I did. I started running again, and I got my butt back into the gym, lifting weights. Now, the reason why this is the final secret in my story is because exercise, it delivers oxygenated blood to the muscles of your body, including your pelvic floor, helping you to have better erections. And exercise is also a powerful stress management strategy. Now, for me personally, I got so busy and stressed with my professional life that I just stopped altogether. And let me tell you, my first week back of moving my body, lifting weights, getting outside for a run, I saw my erections return to full strength, and I was now at the stage where I was managing my stress levels. They were a little bit healthier, and I no longer needed the Viagra anymore. When it came time to perform, I had done it. I fixed my erectile dysfunction by using medication to boost my confidence in the short term, and then relied heavily and doubled down on my new stress management strategies so that I could come off the Viagra and have strong erections every time. Now, this was huge for my relationship, because if you have a partner, they're naturally going to think it's something they're doing wrong as the reason why us men can't be aroused sexually, when we know very well that's likely not the case. And if you don't open up to your partner about these issues, it's only going to drive a wedge in your relationship, and it's going to make things so much worse. Now, if any of you are watching are lacking in the areas of managing your stress and anxiety, or not getting enough exercising, use me as the example and try some of the secrets that I outline in this video for the next few weeks, and I want you to be consistent and patient with yourself.